we're back. The election's finally over. We don't have to worry about politics anymore. We can get to what really matters, high school football. I'm Dave Willis. This is Mike Muldoon. Mike, we're going to jump right in to the big game. The biggest game, Andover at Everett on Saturday, Division I North Final. Andover 5-4, Everett 7-2, coming off decisive victories over Haverhill and Central Catholic. And now Andover's looking to make an upset here. And as great as they've been, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, two huge wins for Andover, really putting a great spin on what had been certainly an up-and-down season with the upset of unbeaten Lexington and then beating big bad St. John's Prep, rallying in the second half. E.J. Perry IV has just been, you run out of adjectives to describe him. I think Everett, though, takes it. Everett has been flexing its muscles, and I think they complete the MVC sweep. They dominated Haverhill, they dominated Central Catholic, which not too many teams have done in recent years. And I think maybe the Cinderella run-ins for Andover at Everett.
The last few years, I've spent a lot of time questioning Jordan McAfee, wondering, is this kid going to be able to play at the Division I level? He's going to UConn. I'm telling you, he was absolutely awesome against Central. Only needed to complete 6 passes because 4 went for touchdowns. He was absolutely tremendous. I think Andover can match up with them offense versus offense. If this was 7-on-7, that would be another story. I just don't think, just like Central's defense and Haverhill's defense couldn't slow down Everett, I don't think Andover's can either, so I'm going to have to go with Everett too. Let's jump over to the other playoff game on Saturday. Switch states here. Wyndham, 10-0, hasn't been touched, hasn't even been close to being touched. They're hosting Plymouth in the New Hampshire Division II semifinals. Wyndham playing for its 3rd straight trip to the D2 title game. They won 2 years ago, lost last year. And I see no reason why Wyndham's not going to make it 11-0. I mean, it's a close game if they don't score 50.
Yeah. Last week they scored 52 points. Their fewest points in the last 5 weeks. You always have to throw out the overconfidence thing, the first close game thing. Those are potential things that can bring you down. But just looking at the numbers, that is one powerful Wyndham team we've seen thus far.
Yeah, I talked to Ray Kraft about a week ago about the overconfidence thing. He really brushed it off as, yeah, but this team is a veteran team that's been through a lot of big games in the past, close games in the past, like last year's title game and 2 years ago's title game. There's a lot of veterans, so they know what they're doing. So Wyndham's going to win this one. Let's look at some prep school games. Brooks at 5-1 is hosting Lawrence Academy 5-1. The winner's probably going to one of the prep bowls, whichever their names are. And again, I'm still really impressed by Brooks, and I take Brooks in this one.
Yeah, I think they got several of those bowls, so I would think both teams will end up going. If you want to see some star power, go to this game. Brooks, of course, with its brilliant junior tight end Pat Fryermuth, who's going to be headed down the line to Penn State. A.J. Dillon, Lawrence Academy, heading to Michigan. Their brilliant bruising running back. Brooks is playing some awfully good football. Lawrence Academy has been there, done that, last 2, 3, 4 years. We'll go a little bit more with the tradition and say Lawrence Academy takes it.
Well, speaking of tradition, we're looking at the Phillips game. Phillips Exeter traveling to Phillips Andover. Not really the flash that this often has, because Exeter's 0-6. Phillips Andover is 2-4, but they're winners of 2 straight. T.J. Urbanek is looking like the T.J. Urbanek that led Pinkerton into a state title game finally. And following that tradition, it takes a little more than a year to recover from an ACL. In probably what won't be the flashiest Phillips game in history, I'm going to go with Andover.
Yeah, I mean, the lamest cliche in all of sports is, hey, when 2 rivals meet, anything can happen 99.99% of the time. Yeah, who cares? Stupid thing to say. Go through the history of this, and anything can happen. There have been some crazy results of these last, 100, 125 matchups in this legendary rivalry. Love the ball that the Big Blue have been playing in recent weeks. Coach Modesti always has them running through walls for Exeter, so we'll say 3 straight overall in the season for Phillips Andover.
Okay, wrapping up the Saturday slate, Austin Prep is going to Pentucket. Pentucket's been playing some decent ball lately. I'll go Sachems.
Yeah, Austin couldn't beat a 4-3 Northeast team, so I can't see them beating the Sachems. Greater Lawrence Tech, is that another?
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm just wrapping up with two.
Okay.
And Greater Lawrence is hosting Linfield. Greater Lawrence has played some good ball even in their playoff loss. It's a little tough to cross over to the Cal, especially against the team Linfield has been playing well recently and over the last few years. I'm going to go Linfield.
Yeah, Matt Mortalite threw for 241 yards and 3 TDs last week for Linfield, so I think the Pioneers take it.
Stepping back to Friday, we got Central coming off that crushing loss to Everett. This is obviously in the non-playoff. They're going to AB, Acton Boxborough, a team that just lost hard to Haverhill last week. Acton's probably not quite as good as their record indicates. Central's going to be angry. As long as Brad Edwards is healthy, and maybe even if he's not, I would go Central in this one.
Yeah, Haverhill bounced back from a tough Everett loss and spanked AB. I think the same thing with the Raiders, bounced back from a tough Everett loss and spanked AB.
Methuen going to Chelmsford. Methuen, shown flashes of very good play recently, even in the Central loss. I'm thinking Methuen's just shown a different way since Perdermo came back. They just have a different type of offense now. I like Rangers in this one.
Yeah, Methuen's won 3 of its last 4, and Jordan Perdomo was it 4 TD runs and a TD pass last week. He really makes a huge difference.
Adds a new dimension to the team, which is the word I was looking for. North Andover 4-5. They're going to Lowell. North Andover's been playing better of late. Lowell played their best ball early in the season. I like North Andover.
I'm going to have to go the opposite way on you. Lowell has scored 103 points in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, you're going to question the competition a little bit, but that's a lot of scoring. North Andover's only averaging 17 points a game, which is quite low in this modern spread era, so I don't know if they have the firepower to match up with Lowell.
Speaking of Haverhill, Haverhill 7-2 is going to Peabody at 4-5. This is an angry Haverhill team, a furious Haverhill team, and the team is playing very, very well. You can't really judge them too bad in a loss to Everett, which is a tremendous team. I would say Haverhill's going to come in and roll in this one.
Yeah, Peabody just 4-5 and has totaled just 38 points combined in its last 3 weeks. Haverhill playing some good ball with our guy J.C. Laguerre and co.
North Reading, and we go back to the playoffs here. North Reading is traveling to Marblehead. North Reading is 8-1. They're of course riding the shoulders of Matt McCarthy, who we just interviewed. But Marblehead is 9-0, and they're looking good.
Yeah, Drew Galley last week, 247 yards passing and 3 TDs for the Magicians or the Headers or whatever their nickname is these days. Reading's had some impressive post-season wins, but it's always tough to go against an unbeaten club, so we'll say Galley and co. maybe get the best of the Hornets.
Lawrence is 0-9, but they're taking on 1-8 Newton South, and this looks like the game that could probably get Lawrence the win that they have so long been hoping for.
We thought maybe last week they would do it. It didn't quite happen. They were right there. Lose a heartbreaker. Newton South lost to Lowell 62-16 2 weeks ago. So I think we can safely say Newton South isn't a powerhouse after Steve Burton's son, the UCLA recruit, transferred to Florida for his senior season. Lancers breakthrough. First win for the Lancers. All right, Angel LeBrew and co. And we're going to get your correct mugshot in this week.
And to wrap up the Friday slate, Essex Tech is traveling to Georgetown. I saw Essex Tech play Greater Lawrence earlier in the season. They're a tough team. I'm going to go with Essex.
Go Georgetown.
And there's actually a Thursday game. Whittier is going to Greater Lowell. Both teams 2-7.
Tough one. We'll go with the Cats and be homers.
There you go. Okay, that's the slate. Let's see what happens.